Welcome everyone. This is from the book First Flight, Poem 1, Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet who was famous for writing poems out of something ordinary and common and had a realistic view towards everything which was related to nature. He paid attention to things which we often forget to pay attention to, things which are considered to be ordinary, things which are considered to be negative, and things which are considered to be bringing in something bad, evil, or bad omen into our lives. The poem Dust of Snow is also one of the examples of his poetry that talks about the small, tiny, and minute particles of nature, but with deep meaning and with deep reference to the meaning of life and to the consideration of nature. Dust of snow. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. This poem talks about the unimaginable healing power of nature. With an underlying message to enjoy nature to the utmost and to have a positive outlook even towards the simple actions of our everyday life and to the tiny particles like snow, which can actually lead to a greater learning in life. Before I begin with the explanation of the poem, I want you all to draw your attention towards these three elements of nature by Robert Frost. One is snow, which is also reflecting the winter season. Number two, crow, which is usually considered to be an ugly bird. And three, hemlock tree, which is a poisonous plant, a poisonous tree with white flowers. The poem Dust of Snow talks about the link between something negative and something positive that may happen at just one point in time, yet bring in a huge change in your life. The poet was in a depressive mood. He was sorrowful and had a terrible day. While he was passing by and comes across under this hemlock tree, thinking that his day had been lost, was when a crow shook the branch and let the powdery snow fall on the poet. This sudden and unexpected event was insignificant in itself, but it changed the mood of the poet completely. He forgot his problem altogether and got busy in removing the snow from his hair and clothes. Thus, for a part of the day, he stopped regretting or repenting and got busy with his work like the crow. Dust of Snow, as a poem, represents cheerless, deadly, and depressing aspect of nature. Winter is the most crucial period of the year. You wear warm clothes, you wear coats, you wear hat, you wear so many things in order to comfort yourself, but it is rare in the day that we really feel without being getting cold. The bird crow somehow flutters through the leaves and lets the powdery snow fall on the poet. This little incident changes his mood suddenly, and his mind is diverted from the personal sorrow to the activities of the nature. The poet here is also trying to create an image of these three things in the poem: the crow, the tree, and the snow, which is all reflecting the winter season. All the three, however, represent the evil and deadly aspect of nature. Now, the birds that are usually mentioned in poems otherwise are nightingales, cuckoos, or some beautiful singing birds. The poets usually avoid mentioning crows because of their color, their harsh voice, and dirty eating habits. A crow brings to our mind the pictures of kites and vultures. And it is also presumed that crow bring ill omen and bad luck. Whereas this hemlock tree is a poisonous tree with small white flowers, and the poet has not written about any other beautiful tree but this poisonous tree, because the bird crow, the cruel winter season, and this poisonous hemlock tree go well with the dirty and cruel image of the nature. The hemlock tree and the crow both are representing sorrow and misfortune. The dust of snow shaken from a hemlock tree is also deadly and ominous. The hemlock trees are linked with evil, and crow also is linked with evil and bad omen. But such negative aspect of nature, which is considered negative, which is considered bringing in deadly images, which is considered to be misfortune, are the only reasons for the poet to recover and to overcome his problem and to overcome the melancholic mood. The positive change that is felt by the poet is only after the dust of snow that has been shaken on the body of the poet by the crow. So the things that are in general considered to be negative and in general considered to be of something evil and deadly were the reason for the poet to actually come back to his life. Otherwise, he would have been spending his day in the same sorrowful and depressive mood and would have spoiled the remaining part of the day. But with the help of these two aspects of nature, the hemlock tree and the crow, he was able to come back to life, regain his strength, and change his mood completely. The way the snow was shaken off by the crow changed his mood completely, and perhaps it gave the poet an inspiration to behave in the same manner, that shake off his depressive thoughts and revive his cheerful mood. There are three things that you need to focus on: the season winter, the poem, the bird crow, and the tree hemlock. These three things are interconnected and interlinked. The bird crow, the tree hemlock, and the winter season, all being crucial, evil, and deadly in their own ways. but are reflecting the poet's mood as well. And only these two elements were the reason that something good and something joyful could be felt by the poet Robert Frost. This sudden change in his mood and this sudden change in his perspective of life and perspective of nature has brought in by these two elements. Now the literary devices that we have in this poem, starting from the rhyme scheme, where crow, snow, me, tree, heart, part, mood, root are rhyming, hence AB, AB, CD, CD. Then we have alliteration, which is the repetition of this consonant or the consonant sound, or the same consonant or the same consonant sound, has given my heart, saved some part. So the repetition of H, H and S, S in the next verse. Then there is an inversion in order to bring in the rhyme. There is assonance, the repetition of the vowel sound, shook down on me. So O with different pronunciation is been repeated. The poem is an enjambment itself because there has been no punctuation and there is this stretch of the single line with no punctuation in between. Then we have the irony. The irony lies in the images of hemlock tree and crow and of course the winter season. As I said, are referring to the negative aspect of the nature, but become the reason to bring in a big positive change in the poet. Hence, it is the irony. And of course, the title Dust of Snow is been metaphorically treated because poet is not just focusing on snow. Snow in itself is a light and a small particle of nature. But what he wants us to understand is the dust of snow, the small flakes of snow, that even a small particle of the nature has got a big power to bring in a huge change in your life. So we should not consider anything small when it comes to nature, because nature has got this ability to change your life altogether, even if the particle of the nature, the element of the nature is a tiny one or a small one. The underlying message of the poem is to make the reader understand this healing power of nature and this interlinked connectivity of the natural objects being considered negative, yet have the power to bring the positivity in your life. Also, that we must not forget to enjoy nature to the utmost and to have a positive outlook towards everything. Thank you.